Today we're going to check out the Needles District of Canyonlands National Park. Here we go! Alright, good morning. It is Thursday. This is our last scheduled day at Moab. Tomorrow we're supposed to pick up and head towards Capitol Reef. But yeah, last night after eating and doing laundry, we hung out a little bit and I crashed out and I slept great. So I'm ready to go today. We're going to start it off with some breakfast. We're going back to that Metro Diner because their service was fast yesterday and we ain't trying to mess around. Alright, so we're done with breakfast. It's time to go hit the parks. And today we're sticking with Canyonlands. Yesterday we were in the Island of the Sky district. Today we're going to hit up the Needles District, which is supposed to have some good hikes. It's famous for these spires shooting up out of the ground, so we'll go see that. It's interesting. It's only about 15 miles south of Island in the Sky, but driving distance from entrance to entrance of the park, it's over 100 miles. Now, obviously, we're coming from our campground, which is just on the other side of Moab, so we're not doing 100 miles. It's about 70 miles, and we'll be there in just over an hour. So, yeah, let's go look at the Needles. Now I love good tourist trap like South of the Border or Wall Drug. I'd never heard of Hole in the Rock, but it looks right up my alley. We'll have to stop and check that out. So this here is Newspaper Rock. These petroglyphs date back to BC time. Most of them go up until about 1300. Some is more recent graffiti. I don't know if you can tell. Someone named Gene put their name up there, and then J.R. carved his or her initials into it. But most of it's ancient. Some cool stuff. I like that sheep with the horns up there. It's a cool one. Footprints, and even forgetting about the cultural significance of it, check out this rock itself. That is wild. So yeah guys, that's Newspaper Rock. It's on the way to the Needles District. We're about 20 miles away, but quick side stop and something we're seeing. All right, about 30 minutes tops we'll be in Canyonlands. Got a little mud in the tires. so we stopped and got our info at the visitor center, and those folks were very helpful and give us some good information. I think there's gonna be some good stuff to see here today. So right now we're gonna get started and take a short drive over to some what they call roadside ruins as soon as Dawn puts her seatbelt on. All right, this is the roadside ruin trail. We're gonna see some ruins. Just a short hike, 0.3 miles. It's a hole. All right, let's check it. So here's an ancient ancestral structure built by the Puebloans. This would be mostly used for storage, you know, maybe like foodstuffs or for some items used for ceremonial purposes. But you know, it's very delicate, and you know, they say don't go anywhere near it, so we're just going to admire it from afar. But crazy that even after all these years, it's even still there. You know, you'd think that mortar or whatever they used to hold together would just kind of wash away, but somehow it lasts for hundreds of years. Roadside ruins is done. It's a very short hike, very easy, you know, very flat. You know, a couple parts got to walk up some rocks, but great scenery, and it was definitely cool seeing those ruins. So, all right, next up, Cave Springs. So this is just amazing. We had to walk up, climb up 2 ladders to get here. You know, definitely worth it, because this really gives you a good vantage point. You know, basically 360-degree views. And you know, it rained yesterday, which is, you know, rare. So we're lucky. We got these potholes filled with water. I'm told there may be critters in them. I keep checking them, looking for them prehistoric scrimps, but so far I haven't seen anything. Not even a a small insect. I mean, nothing. So I don't know. You guys don't know what I'm looking for, or maybe they're just not there. But anyways, these views, Christ. That wraps up the Cave Springs hike, and of everything we've done so far, that's one of our favorites. That Cowboy Camp was cool. Climb up the ladders was pretty sweet, but then once you get up top, man, the views just kept coming. Every 100 feet or so you'd look, and it just would totally shift and be totally something different, but equally impressive to what you'd seen before. So yeah, I strongly suggest hitting up the Cave Springs hike if you're in the Needles District. So we're gonna move on next, check out overlook, Wooden Shoe Arch Overlook, I think it's called, and then do a drive down dirt road to something called Elephant Hill. I know nothing about these things, I don't know what to expect, but we're about to find out. There they are, the needles. There's tons of them. All right, so Elephant Hill was really just like a driving trail, gravel driving trail that leads to a off-road permit trail. But that was a cool drive. Had some tight turns and some good scenery, but we're done with that. Now we're at the Pothole Point Trail. Half mile, easy trail, another short hike. Supposed to be plenty of potholes, so maybe we'll finally spot these critters I keep hearing about. But, all right, potholes. right, so I found one that's got scrimps in it. You know, you can see them. They're hard to spot when they're not moving, but you can see movement. I don't know if the camera's picking up anything, but they're so tiny. They're basically like sea monkeys, but yeah, I guess it's true. There are scrimps living up here. We hit the jackpot. Look at these little tiny fish swimming all over the place in here. I don't know if they're tadpoles or fishes or what. Or maybe they're the scrimps. Well, I'm glad we saw that, because I'll admit, when I heard that there were like shrimps or crustaceans living up here in the desert in Utah, you know, I was pretty skeptical. But, you know, we've seen them with our own eyes. They're there. It's wild. These potholes dry up and, you know, the eggs are left. So they're just sitting there waiting. And then when the rain comes, the potholes fill up with water, and then the eggs can hatch, and there you go, life. And we just saw it. The rain came yesterday, and already we got, you know, different kind of tadpoles and clams up here in the desert in Utah. Pretty cool. So we can check off the pothole point. That was another good one. You know, at one point Dawn compared it to walking on the moon, and you know, she said that, yeah, it really is very much like that. You know, both the color and texture of the ground and those holes similar to craters, and you know, weird, just those rock formations that to me remind me of mushrooms. It was kind of very otherworldly. So yeah, another short, easy hike, but good views, and you know, well worth the time. Alright, so I want to stop and give you guys one last look at the Needles District of Canyonlands. We're about to split. You know, we did a few good hikes. It was a good visit. You know, one good thing about this area of the park is that not very many people are here. You know, it's compared to Arches or even Canyonlands at the Island of the Sky, you know, it's not at all crowded. You know, I'm not sure why that is. I suspect it's because some people are skeptical as to whether or not it's worth the drive. You know, since it is a little bit out of the way from all the rest. And the reason I theorize that is because we felt the same way. We didn't know if it was worth it. Now, I'll say, if you're on the fence and you're considering coming out to Needles, you know, just the fact that you're considering it, you should stop and just go ahead and do it. You know, if it's an option, you have the time and you're able to do it, just do it. You'll have a good time. You know, it's got a lot of long hikes too. I could even see coming here and camping, spending a few days here. You know, it's for me, it's hard to get into too many of the long hikes when you only have a day. But, you know, the views, this place is just incredible. You know, definitely worth the trip. I'd highly recommend it. So, all right, well, we're going to start making our way back towards Moab. As I said, it's about 70 miles and, you know, a bit over an hour. We'll be back in our, close to our base camp home. We did see a billboard that said Hole in the Rock was open every day. As it turns out, that is not the case. Oh well, maybe someday we'll come back. Alright, so here we are back at the campground. It's a little after 7. The sun's starting to get low, so it'll be darkness soon. Time to eat dinner. Dawn's about to start cutting up the veggies and putting together those pockets that we love. We're going Italian sausage tonight, and tonight's our last night in Moab, which kind of sucks because we like it here. I could definitely stay here another, several days, weeks. There's plenty doing arches, plenty doing Canyonlands. It's a really, really cool town. But it's time to move on because we only got so much time before we gotta head back home. So, and after leaving the Needles, we went into Moab. Shopped around, went to some stores, got some souvenirs, t-shirts and stuff. And as you can tell, my hair's wet. We just got back from the pool, and that was nice. And I gotta say, this KOA is awesome. Probably the best I've been to. Very well maintained. The pool is excellent. The showers, facilities are great. The laundry room is awesome. The steps, fantastic. You can tell everything's very well maintained. So KOA holiday in Moab is definitely a winner. But yeah, time to move on. Tomorrow we're gonna go make our way to Capitol Reef. Not sure where we're staying yet, but that's something to figure out on the ride over there. But yeah, time to do some evening activities, eat some dinner, and relax with some tunes. Hit like and hit subscribe. Later.